Okay, my favorite episode of season 7 is Meanwhile, and my least favorite episode of this season, my most hated, was uh Fun on a Bun. I fucking hated that one. Anyway, Fun on a Bun. Oh, it's just the Oktoberfest centered episode. Really shit one as well. Just the low point of Fry and Lena's relationship. That episode. 31st Century Fox just didn't really hit for me. Naturama, in which they're basically all animals, and it just doesn't really feel like Futurama. Fry and Leela's big fling, in which they end up going to this museum thing and they end up being like on display, and their love is on display, and just really fucking stupid and dumb, and really didn't like it. Saturday Morning Fun Pit, in which it's a parody on various cartoons, such as from Scooby Doo to G.I. Joe. Didn't really hit. Decent episodes, the season premiere, The Bots and the Bees, which is obviously a parody on The Birds and the Bees. Sex, obviously. It's a sex episode in which Bender has sex with this vending machine and has a little baby Bender. Farewell to Arms, another really decent episode. Can't remember that one. We also get develop. And I really love, seeing like Bender form with his kid and just going on a crime spree. It's really cute, really amazing, funny as fuck as well. And I really like Bender's son, and Bender just becoming this pretty good father figure when you think about it, considering his mum just decided to bomb him off. Viva Mars Vegas, again, another Mars Vegas centered episode in which, it has all of your gambling, all that stuff. 40% Lead Belly, pretty decent episode. 2D Blacktop, decent. Can't remember these episodes off the top of my head. And what happened? The Inhuman Torch, another centered episode. And I also loved Al Gore in this series as well, just as much as what he was in South Park. Mighty Moonworm and all that stuff. Loved seeing Al Gore. As He's Come Home, just is decent. Bender wants his ass back. Just not much to it. Decision 3012, election parody episode, in which Richard Nixon wins another re-election as president of Earth. The Thief of Baghead, pun on the Thief of Baghdad. It's basically the one where Calculon dies, and that's all I can remember from this episode. Zap Dingbat, in which Zap falls in love with Leela's mum, and eventually she breaks up with Zap because he's an asshole, and they get back together with Leela's father, who just decides to be a really cool, rad hippie, just surfing the sewer waves and all that, shit. The Butter Junk Effect, the Butter Junk Effect, there we go. Blah. Get your words out. You've been gagging on dick. You've been gagging on dick too much, Kieran. Probably. The amount of times I'm out on the street gagging on dick, come literally going like down my mouth. Anyway, the butter junk effect, which is a pun on the butterfly effect. Pretty good episode, and I can't even remember what the fuck happened in this episode at all. The $6 Million Mon, Hermes centered episode in which he becomes a robot. Free Will Hunting, another pretty good centered episode in which I don't even remember what the fuck happened. Near Death Wish, one of them nearly dies. That's about it. T, the Terrestrial, a reverse parody on E.T. Pretty good one. Calculon 2.0, in which Calculon comes back for a little bit and then he's sent back to Robot Hell just to annoy the Robot Devil. Really good. I actually liked it, although he really did struggle to handle in his own centered episode, did Calculon. He just hasn't really got the personality for it, but I still liked it. Leela and the Beanstalk, which is a parody on, Jack and the Beanstalk. Not much else to it. Pretty good parody of it. Game of Thrones, parody on Game of Thrones. in which Fry ends up going back in time to his mum and reliving a dream. Really fucking good, really fucking beautiful centered episode. Murder on the Planet Express, a parody on Alien, and just a murder, basically a pun on Murder on the Mystery Express. Just that centered episode, which every cartoon or series has done to death at this point. Even Adventure Time's done one. Stench and Stenchability, the penultimate series episode, in which Zoidberg finds love, and it's really fucking beautiful. And meanwhile, the final episode of the entire series, in which time freezes and Leela and Fry just live out the rest of their lives, and Professor Farnsworth fixes it, and it's basically an added incentive of all of us to rewatch Futurama again in a never-ending cycle. Really fucking good episode. My favourite of that season, and Fun in the Bun, just fuck off. Overall, the Comedy Central run, very hit and miss. You can tell that Futurama was kind of weighing down, but even in its final season, it wasn't completely, like, terrible. Futurama was just a bit, it was coming to it kind of knew it was coming to an end. It was a bit like watching your dog, and you just kind of see it just kind of pissing and shitting all over the place. As much as I hate it sounded like that, you kind of know that, you know, the dog's coming to the end of its road, and that's kind of what Futurama was. It's a bit like watching a dog come to the end of its road, and it's fucking sad, but yeah, that's kind of it. Futurama would get 2 video games, one being on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, and a iOS game, and Futurama would come around in various other video games, such as the Simpsons game and some other stuff. Of course, there would also be a bit of reference to Disenchantment, tying Futurama in with both The Simpsons and Matt Groening's other show, and also Simpsons Rama, in which which is basically a crossover with The Simpsons and sees Futurama's big return to Fox. And that's kind of about it for Futurama. There we go. That's the entire series. Really fucking good series. Started off really fucking strong on Fox. Fox was just meddling around with it. They got canned. They came back. They got canned again, but they came back, and it was amazing just seeing Futurama coming back and all that stuff. Beautiful, beautiful.